regarding Blue Lock Season 2, and it's a very interesting opinion piece called Why Blue Lock Season 2 is Good Despite the Flaws. And with the most recent episode, I haven't watched today's episode. I don't know when this video is going to be uploaded, but basically the episode that came out on December 14th. The most recent episode is when Shiro finally joined in and did the crazy goal, you know, just switched everything up. And I hear Shiro's going to keep popping up, but there's a very interesting thing happening with the U20 arc. The amount of copium that people said that, hey, they're saving all the budget till the end, you know, and it's actually hype. It was always hype. The story was really hype. And I think that 8-Bit Studios understands how to actually like adapt and direct the story in a way that's a lot more exciting, even though there is slide lock happening compared to a scenario like Tower of God, where the Answer Studio doesn't know what to do with the story. Because I refuse to believe that U20 arc, it is very hype, but the Workshop battle arc, people have said that this is supposed to be ridiculously hype. Yet, I feel nothing from the Workshop battle arc. Because even if the story is good, the production value in the way that they adapt the story and have an understanding of how to direct the story, the pacing and, you know, focusing on key elements and stuff like that, I think 8-Bit Studios understands Blue Lock a lot better than the Answer Studio understands Tower of God. But let's read this. The new season of Blue Lock has been jokingly described as PowerPoint presentation. True. Very true. Slideshow or still frame animation. And this is... it's a joke, but it's also serious, because just watch the episodes for yourself. This is what's happening. While those criticisms aren't entirely unfounded, and I'd also prefer if it had the animation quality of Demon Slayer, yeah, obviously, I'm gonna focus on the bright side, or rather, what I think is Blue Lock Season 2 is doing well, and why I think fans, including myself, are still able to enjoy it as a good anime. My take still is, at the end of the day, they know when to crank it up. The animation, I mean, it's still not, you know, the best, but they do have key moments where they know when to dial it up for, let's say, Shiro, right? Or let's say Rin, or any other, like Nagi, for example. The story is already hype, and they're min-maxing right now. And we've also been conditioned. This is really messed up. We have been conditioned to... we've been given so much trash that suddenly something subpar will seem peak to me. I think there's some of that phenomenon happening too. How popular is Blue Lock Season 2? Let's first establish whether fans care about the anime in the first place. Blue Lock was the highest-selling manga of 2023, selling over 10 million copies last year, and topping the likes of JJK and One Piece, following the first season of the anime. Crazy. There was obviously going to be a large number of manga fans with a high expectation for Blue Lock, U20 Japan arc. Yes, and the expectation here doesn't just simply carry over from the success of Season 1 or the manga sales. It's the fact that U20 arc itself is one of the most, like, core arcs that's supposed to be so hype in Blue Lock. Not to say that the anime onlys didn't get, I think anime onlines, I think this is a typos, anyways, didn't also get disappointed. The Season 1 finale set up Isagi to compete against the best following their clash against the World 5. It was also introduced Ryusei Shido, who is honestly clutch. Ryusei Shido is honestly the reason why Blue Lock is so hype right now, making the sequel even more exciting to look forward to. When the time eventually came for those big moments, the lack of outstanding animation sequences we've grown used to in other mainstream anime hit an expected waste of criticism. Yeah, and this, you know, if you look at this picture, sorry. If you look at this frame, it looks crisp, right? If you just gave this frame to anybody, they'd be like, damn, colors are looking very saturated, things are popping out, you know, a lot of impact lines, you see a lot of, like, you know, hype moments, you know, you see this and it looks good. But if you actually play the anime, you notice that it's a still frame with lines happening to give the illusion that it's moving, and that's why people are so fucking pissed off. So the anime frequently ranked amongst top 10 shows in our weekly polls, climbing up to the second spot in the latest ones. I don't know what you mean by the ranking. I don't know exactly what kind of ratings you're used for the rankings, but in terms of viewership, I think that a dumpster fire or a train wreck, even if the content isn't good, people will stick around to watch this mess, to see, like, holy shit, what a disaster, right? It doesn't mean that it's good. It just means that a lot of people's eyeballs are on it because of the controversy surrounding the situation. This is hardly its own incredible argument to say that it's a popular, since these polls have averaged 9 to 10,000 people every week this season. That's why I took a look at its stats on Crunchyroll, the platform streaming it. Since Crunchyroll disabled comments earlier this year, classic, I only had likes, dislikes to reference, and here's the status of the time of writing. So again, I think that the viewership, right? The overall likes, dislikes combined, the input, again, the example of everybody wants to see a train wreck happen. Doesn't mean that it's good, but if you see the proportionate like to dislike ratio, it'll probably highlight a little bit more of like what's going on. So, Blue Lock Season 2, like to dislike ratio. Yeah, Episode 1, because there was no soccer happening, because there was no actual, like, what's it called? Fucking animation, right? It looked great. It's hyping up. It's like, oh shit, we got brand new, season happening. We got the new, roster. We got a whole ass fucking, like who's gonna make it onto the U20 versus U20 arc, right? It was really hype. And then Episode 2 happened. And then Slide Lock happened. You can see, like, immediately spike in the dislikes. And of course, I think the weakest part to Blue Lock definitely is the tryouts, right? The tryout segment, they really did not give a fuck. The episodes against Karasu too, holy shit, that was so bad. There was nothing moving. That was peak Slide Lock. And you can see that, I think at some point, there's some hype moments, but you can definitely see that the dislikes are going down slowly. And with the most recent episode, people are actually pretty hyped about it. And I think there's definitely turning points, right? There's definitely turning points, like Nagi scoring the goal during the U20 battle definitely was hype. Shido showing up and scoring the goal, 2 episodes ago, or like, the last week's episode, super hype. This is an average of 32,500 likes and 1,260 dislikes, or roughly 34,000 reactions total. Note that the numbers are rounded so they aren't completely accurate show, but they give a fairly good idea of what we need. For reference, here's Dandadan. Alright, Dandadan has significantly more engagement in Blue Lock Season 2 on the platform from fall 2024 shows. I'm not really surprised. While other big hitters aimed at a similar audience like ReZero Season 3, Dragon Ball Daima. Is people actually watching Dragon Ball Daima? Well, I can only go off of YouTube viewership, and dude, Dragon Ball Daima viewership is dead across the board on every fucking channel. And Shangri-La Frontier Season 2 are behind or very close. Here's how they are doing on the platform at the time of this writing. Okay. So this is the total number of episodes. So if Blue Lock had an average of 32K, right? This is what we're working with. Let's look at everything else. You can see that Daima actually likes is pretty high. ReZero likes, Shangri-La, Tower of God, they're all pretty high. But the dislikes, right? 467, 180. I'm actually surprised that ReZero got less dislikes. I thought that a lot of people will be brigading it, trying to hate on it, but ReZero coincidentally has the least amount of dislikes. Shangri-La Frontier, Dragon Ball Daima, and then followed by Tower of God, and this doesn't surprise me at all. Tower of God, I think it's such an interesting case study. Sorry. It's such an interesting case study happening right now with Tower of God and Blue Lock, because again, we were memeing on both Blue Lock and Tower of God Season 2. Because the production committee, I'm pretty sure it's the same people from Bandai Namco, right? Even though it's different studios of 8-Bit Studios and the Answer Studio, because the production committee was the same, I thought that, oh shit, they're just fucking, they're really min-maxing both projects. They don't give a fuck about it. Yet, even though they're both trash, Blue Lock does way more better than Tower of God. And again, I think it has to do with 8-Bit Studios actually understanding the hype moments and giving it life. The way that they adapt and direct these key moments is way better in Tower of God. Blue Lock is very enjoyable. It is. The story is so enjoyable. And maybe it really is the fact that Workshop Battle Arc, the substance of the story in Tower of God right now, is trash. I don't know. I haven't read the webtoon. But a lot of people glaze this saying, Workshop Battle Arc, it's going to be so hype. Tournament, Battle Royale style, it's going to be peak. Yet, you have U20 and Workshop Battle, which are both glazed by the community saying they're both great. You have both studios min-maxing the shit out of both animes, and we're just laughing at it. Yet, Blue Lock is so much more enjoyable than Tower of God. It's very interesting. As all the rankings are a bias based on the audience, I took a look at the IMDb to have a wider range of reference. Okay. So, another pool. So, Blue Lock first season had an average of 8.08 with an average count of 1,035 reviews. On the other hand, Season 2 has an average of 7.55, which is honestly not that significant of a drop-off, with an average count of 758 reviews. Alright. And, this is what you're seeing right now. And yeah, people really were mad about Episode 2, right? This is when Slide Lock really started to happen, but A lot of people are very happy now. My point with this is that while criticisms of the production quality have been vocal, the overall reception suggests that many viewers are still enjoying the series, myself included. Even during slide lock episodes, I was having fun watching it. It was bizarre that we have PNG frames just sliding around, yet they still contain the hype of the story so much better than Tower of God did. This brings me to my main point of how the anime capitalizes on that same viewer wants to see, which is what I believe makes Blue Lock Season 2 gold to them. What Blue Lock Season 2 does well. If we agree to take the above data as accurate, we can also agree that there are many people who enjoy Blue Lock Season 2 as it is. Yes, myself included. Like, you can criticize it, you can shit on it, you can also make fun of it, but we can also appreciate the hype moment. Many viewers may not even notice the still frames. Nah, I refuse to believe that. There's no way. Well, then again, myself included, like, it was only this year that I started to really open my third eye on production value. By watching more videos from Senshi and, you know, Probably Pretentious and other people really educating me on what the fuck production value is. What am I supposed to look at, right? I'm starting to realize that, okay, this is actually ass. But some people, like the super casual normies, they might see the still frames and they might still think that it's just, it's fine. You know, genuinely. Like the still frames, they see it, but they probably can't distinguish like why a studio is doing this or like why it's bad, I guess. I would hope that the average audience could differentiate though, please. And for many others, myself included, they don't distract too much from the overall experience. I haven't been a fan of the clunky CGI since the first season, but it did get noticeably worse in Season 2. Still, Blue Lock Season 2 is one of the anime I enjoy most every week. Me too, bro. I genuinely look forward to each week of Blue Lock because it's just so hype. Here's why I believe it to be good. Capitalizing the hype moments. Absolutely agree. They know how to really set the key moments, you know, prioritized. It's not really the same case for Itoshi Sai though. For some reason, Itoshi Sai, he's not really getting that much, you know, budget, right? Like Shiro's getting a lot, Rin does. But Sai got like nothing compared to them. In an interview with the anime producer Ryoya Ariasawa, and this guy is straight up from Bandai Namco, the guys on the production committee, he told us about tight schedule and how difficult it was to turn episodes in on time for the first season. While also, the fucked up thing is that they decided to make the movie during the first season near the tail end. He said it's a tight schedule. Then his logic, remember we read the other article, and the dude was like, while Blue Lock is, you know, very fresh in our minds, let's add on the movie project. And that's why I also believe that the tail end of Blue Lock Season 1 suffered, because they started to do way more shit, scope creep, bad project management. While he also said that they figured it out after the season plus the movie, that they have created a more refined and cooler visual presentation, which is just corporate bullshit talk. It just basically means, hey, we can animate without animating. That's what they're saying. They have such a annoying way of saying, we got a different style. We've revolutionized, you know, animation. No longer do we need to animate. We can have fucking CapCut, you know, fucking scene transitions with a bunch of impact lines to give the illusion that things are moving even though things aren't moving. Ugh, whatever, bro. It's evident that Blue Lock Season 2 isn't much better off. Given those constraints, it's understandable that they prioritize making the key moments visually impactful, and in many cases they've succeeded. I hate this. It's evident that Blue Lock Season 2 isn't much better off, is what he's saying about the tight schedule. Every time they say this shit, I always bring this up. AniChart, Blue Lock. I always bring this up, bro. These dudes are lying to you. They lying out their ass. Let's look at 8-Bit Studios and the projects that they had in Season 1 versus Season 2. Look at this shit. They had one anime, seasonal. They had a Tensura movie. They had a seasonal. And then they had a mini. This was their lineup in 2022. And they were already flooded saying tight schedule. This dude literally said Season 2 isn't much better off. Fuck you. Look at this. Look at 2024. Look at 2024. You can't fucking tell me that you're working under the same load. I know there are cheap asses probably not even increasing headcount of employees. They probably, trying to get, offshore contractors, paying them fucking pennies, and even they're leaving. But don't fucking tell me that it's not better off. It's way worse off. And it's clearly due to the scheduling from the production committee. Given these constraints, it's understandable that they prioritize making the key moments visually impactful. Makes sense to me. And in many cases, they've succeeded. And I would actually agree with the most recent episodes. I don't know about this really being prioritized well. I thought that this donkey kick from Shido, while it looks cool, it was more ridiculous and funny. But recently, Shido has been popping off. The fucking demon wings popping off. Like, it was really cool. It was. There's a reason why episode 7 has the second highest amount of likes on Crunchyroll, the highest rating on IMDb, and it jumped to third in a weekly rating. It shows what I am talking about. I think this is the episode where Nagi scored the goal, the start of U20, maybe? I forget. Looking at the manga, there are many panels that look better, but the anime manages to make the most important ones look good enough to be exciting. The contrast with the rest of the episodes make them stand out even more. Wait a minute, hold up. So what you're telling me is that because how trash the rest of Slide Lock looks, that the key moments are even better. And this is what I'm talking about. We're being brainwashed right now. Okay? We are being brainwashed. They have fed us so much trash. Our standard kept getting lower and lower. We're desensitized to the point that something above average suddenly seems peak. This is what I'm talking about. I thought it was a conspiracy theory. But the way that, they're talking like this, I'm like, oh my god, bro. I hate this. I love it and I hate it. I love it because it's still hype. I hate it because they can get away with this. You know what I mean? All that matters is the performance, of these animes. And they're fucking getting away with it. They're literally hoodwinking us. It's just like, fuck. They shouldn't get away with it. But because the fan reception, the amount of hype surrounding it, even if they put the least amount of effort and just turned up for the most important parts, it's positive signals for them. 8-bit Studios is gonna be like, all right, bet. It's looking like we can continue doing this shit, huh? Okay. If I were you guys, I'd be worried about Tensura season 3. Sorry, season 4. Yep. You better be fucking on your knees praying that Tensura, they're gonna be like, okay. We got away with this for Blue Lock, huh? Let's do it. Let's make the meetings even fucking more boring in Tensura. Good looking frames means fans have moments they find worth sharing online. Creating viral posts and spreading their excitement on social media. At the end of an episode, most people will remember how it made them feel, and having a few hype moments will leaving them feeling to want to see more. And I agree with this. There's a psychological phenomenon. I'm not sure if recency effect is really the right way to say it, but maybe anchoring. What I'm trying to say is, I agree that there are these few moments of keyframes that does look hype. And because of that, you'll forget everything that was trash. Here's a good example. Demon Slayer, Hashira training arc. You remember how mid everything was, right? Bro, we were fucking throwing paper airplanes with fucking Muichiro. 20 airplanes, they counted it all. People were so pissed. People were upset. And then what happened? The finale episode. The finale episode was so hype. It was so stupid hype that I completely forgot about the rest. I was like, I forgive you. It's this toxic relationship. It's so abusive where we're fed slop. We're fed mid. And then they tried just one day and I'm like, god damn it. Fuck you, I'm back in. That's what's happening here too, Blue Lock. When answering fan questions, Arisa also stated that he's far from satisfied with the adaptation. Corporate talk. Nah, I don't believe in corporate talk. He's far from satisfied because he realized that they put too much budget into this. They're realizing, shit, audience reception is this good despite the amount of resources that we put in. It's looking like we can trim more fat and get away with it more. That's what he's probably thinking. He compared everyone working on the anime to the characters who relentlessly seek greater strength with insatiable determination. I don't believe this shit, bro. You talk like a fucking robot. The sound and voice acting make up for it. Yeah, true. I mean, soundtrack and voice acting, Japanese voice acting is so elite that like, there's never really been a Japanese anime that I've seen where the voice acting is the reason that I stopped watching. Just having a few pretty images would not make for a good memory on their own. What adds to the immersion allows the fans to fill in the missing pieces when looking at the frames are the sound and voice acting. Dramatic changes in decibels helps the big moments stand out, while the voice actors definitely bring in their best. Yes, soundtrack, voice acting, it's peak. In the same interview I linked above, Isagi's voice actor Kazuki Ura mentioned that the creators had put everything into the U20 match and encouraged the voice actors to approach it with the same passion. That made him feel like they must respond to the wish and gave it everything. From Miura's Yoichi himself through the rest of the amazing cast that includes Koki Uchiyama as Rin Itoshi, Nobunaga Shimazaki as Nagi Seishiro, Takahira Sakurai as Sai Itoshi, Yuichi Nakamura as Ryusei Shiro, it's evident that they really took it to heart. Even manga is a lot more exciting when voiced over by good actors. I mean, what do you mean even manga? That's what's happening right now. Like this is basically a visual telling. Like we're this is an audiobook. It's a visual audiobook. Manga panels are colored, and sometimes they move with voice acting. That's what's happening right now. So it makes sense that the good-looking moments of Blue Lock Season 2 can be severely enhanced. Almost every character gets a piece of the spotlight. Iriosa Arisawa also told us the following. With the characters we already love and the many more new interesting characters about to appear, I think everyone will find new favorite characters. Yeah. Currently, like, I'm a big Shiro Glazer, man. He is so fun. He just brings such a spicy element to the table. Fans often form strong connections with their favorite characters, sometimes even more than the series itself. Blue Lock is a shonen that doesn't rely on the waifus. You're right. Blue Lock is a shonen that relies on husbandos. Femboys and husbandos. That's what Blue Lock excels at. Instead, it relies on diverse cast of cool-looking skill soccer players. Don't tell me. Nah. You got a bunch of feminine, androgynous-looking men running around in tights, making sussy-ass fucking lines like Oliver saying, I want to put you on a collar. Shiro literally nutting on field and saying, Sai, can I get your number? Fucking Hiyori is literally just bussy. He passed and someone said, tight hole. What a tight pass, dude. Very tight hole. Karasu literally is all about hands. All he does is put his hands on other people. He's feeling and groping people, bro. What else is there? Ninja guy? He was actually really sus in Blue Lock outro. You know that, like, you know, little chibi moments at the very end of the episode? Like, very sus anyways. Yeah, they're clearly playing into that audience, right? What else are we doing right now? Sure, yeah, sure. It's all just, you know, we're just whoring out the guys instead of the girls, basically. With more left of the season, that's not all we've seen. Besides the central duo, Isagi's puzzles, recreating himself, and Rin's genius at play, other characters we already know got their own moments. Some of them include Jubei Aryu, Meguru Bachira, Hyoma Chigiri, Gin Gagamaru, Reo Mikage, and Iki Niko. Yeah, everyone is having their small moment to shine, which is really cool. It is cool. Reo is honestly, I never expected this from Reo though. Genuinely. I thought that Reo would be a character that we would just forget about. I thought that he was going to show up, he's going to get cucked by everyone else, Nagi's going to move on and Reo will be forgotten. Yet, he's seemingly going to go the distance at this rate. So, as an anime only, obviously, I think a lot of anime onlys felt this way about Reo. But obviously the manga readers don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? So that's why they're like, nah, you guys got no clue. And I'm starting to understand, like, yeah, I think they're really going the distance with Reo now. Conclusion. I think the combination of focusing on key moments and having a diverse cast of cool characters, and delivering strong voice acting and sound designs make Blue Lock Season 2 enjoyable. Even with this animation shortcomings, it also has a short material to thank. I think that obviously voice acting and sound design matters, but this isn't really why it's hype. Like, obviously, there's gonna be, you know, voice acting and soundtrack that matter, but I think the most significant factor is the team working on this understands what the key moments are and know how to bring it to life in a way that makes the audience give a fuck. And again, I go back to Tower of God as a great example, because both Tower of God Season 2 and Blue Lock Season 2 got done dirty. They both have really hype arcs. Blue Lock has the U20. Tower of God has the workshop battle arc. And yet, one show is so much more hype and engaging compared to the other. When I see, like, Bomb And I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but basically the main character of Tower of God, he's having a Super Saiyan moment right now. He's having like a Gear 2, like a Bankai moment. Nobody gives a fuck though. And when I watch the episodes, I too feel like something is missing. It's mid. And why is that? It's not because of the story. It's because of the team working on the project, and the Tower of God team, they have no clue what the essence of Tower of God is and how to give those hype moments the treatment it deserves. The overall adaptation, the directing of the hype story, there's a missing, something is missing there. But for Blue Lock, it's different. Blue Lock, they actually know how to fucking give it hype. The manga by Muneyuki Kaneshiro features incredible artwork and over-the-top soccer action that translates beautifully into a shonen battle manga style, which I think gives the anime a clear direction to follow and what to focus on. While I hope they get more time and resources to do it for potential future projects, I doubt it. I think they're gonna just keep loading, bro. I think that 8-Bit's just gonna keep fucking overloading more projects, bro. The engagement numbers I mentioned above suggest that this level of production might be sufficient for the production coming to Xeris Society. And this is the thing that I'm really pissed off about. This is the thing, man. The production committee is realizing that, holy shit, we literally procrastinated, skipped homework, didn't give a fuck through all term, just showed up for the exam and tried hard, and we got away with it. That's what's happening right now. So like the future of Blue Lock is gonna be more slide log with some hype moments. And doesn't that make you upset? Doesn't that make you frustrated? Like, I'm really split on this. I'm split because yes, it's hype to watch. It's still fun. But the problem is they shouldn't be rewarded for this. You know? They're getting away with it. This is just an opinion piece on why I find Blue Lock Season 2 enjoyable. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, hype for December 28th. I'm not really sure if it means next week we're not going to get an episode. I'm not sure. Maybe next week we do get an episode. We get back-to-back episodes on 28th. But yes, on the 28th, we're going to get a double episode finale. I'm sure it's going to be actually so fucking peak. And that's pretty much it. A really interesting situation where despite it being slide luck, despite it being made fun of, it's still hype because they know how to min-max the key priority moments a lot better than, let's say, Tower of God.